Yeah, for us, things became a bit stale, a bit predictable. Um, there was a cycle of things, and it was just write, record, tour, write, record, tour,
Okay.
over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And it was great, but we felt that it was just beginning to kind of suck the life out of us a little bit. It wasn't, when people are working their jobs every day, you like to take a vacation from time to time,
Yeah.
so you can get away from your work and go home and recharge your batteries, or go someplace and just get away. And we never really had an opportunity to do that.
Okay.
It was just work, 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 work. So we just decided to step away from it, take a little of a break, some sort of a vacation, get away from the recording, get away from touring. And we went home and we raised our families, and some of us got married, some of us had kids, and we just did everyday normal things.
Cool.
Being dads,
Yeah.
Danny was coaching his son's football team,
Cool.
stuff like that. So it was good to get away for a while, but this is still very much a huge part of who we are individually. Disturbed is our life. And so it wasn't too much longer after it wasn't too long after we just took the break. We were missing each other, we were missing the fans, missing the music. And so we reached out to each other and started talking and decided to start writing. And personally, I feel that we're stronger than we've been in years. I think the band is on fire right now, and we're having amazing shows, and we're just happy. We're in a really good place right now.
On everything.
We do. We are a family. We are brothers.
Cool.
We love each other. I'm closer with these guys than I am just about anybody in the world. And they are my family, and we really get along. We really enjoy being together.
Cool.
We tour, and we're on all these festivals where there's all these other bands, and often we will go to catering together as a
Yeah.
band, and we'll go have lunch, and we'll go have dinner, and we'll be sitting at the same table talking, hanging out, and we see other bands that the drummer's over here and the singer's
Yeah.
over there. And
Yeah.
there's nothing wrong with that, but we do actually like each other.
Or you have many changes in the vocals
Sure.
or the guitars. So yeah,
Right,
cool.
right.
This is cool. Yeah, I think the fans and feel this family, these brothers.
I think so too. I don't. Our fans, we have a special connection with our fans. There's a connection with the lyrics, the meaning behind the songs, the energy of the music. The fans, there's a real connection there, and I think that we're honest with them, and they know it, they sense it, they can feel it too. So if we can't be honest, then it wouldn't work. So
Yeah.
in the first place, it started out because we had started to do things the same exact way each time,
Yeah.
and it worked. It was great, but as the band grew and became more successful, we moved away to different cities, different countries. I'm sorry, different states, countries. So when we started to write other albums in the past, we would use technology and send files back and forth to each other.
Okay.
And that was great, it worked, but we decided after we took the break that we missed being in the same room together when Dan would play a guitar riff and he could see in my eyes if I really liked it or not, and I could play a beat and David could, so we missed that feeling, that intimacy, that vibe. So we decided that that's what we were going to do. We were going to forget technology. We're not sending files to each other. We're going to get together. We're going to fly somewhere in a room, and we're going to get together, and we're going to write that way, the way we used to do it back in the day. And we weren't sure how long that was going to take. So rather than tell people, hey, guess what? We're deciding the break is over. We're going to start writing. We didn't know if it was going to be a month or it was going to be 5 years. We hadn't done it like that for such a long time. we also didn't want the pressure of a timeline.
Yeah.
We wanted to just be free to do it however it came out. So that was how it started.
Okay.
And it was going so well, we just kept it. We just kept the secret. We says, okay, you know what? Let's not, instead of leaking out a little bit of information, oh, hey fans, guess what? Here we are. We're writing again together. Okay, great. That's excitement, but people would want to know, when's the record coming out? We weren't sure. So we just decided to kind of keep it all together, and when it was ready, we let everybody know. At the same time, though, it was a little bit of fun for us, because like you said, for social media, nowadays, I mean, if we're on stage and we're playing a song, and 30 seconds later, it's out on the internet, it's out there. So it was a huge challenge for us, and so we didn't want to risk any leaks. So we only told, my wife knew, our immediate circle. My parents didn't know, so our management, a couple people at the label, and we just went out to Vegas, and we lived out there, and we just worked. And there was no outside distractions. There was no pressure of a timeline. And it was amazing just to be able to have the three of us, along with our producer, Kevin Churko, in a room together, just focusing on the music, just letting it develop organically. And it was just a great experience. I don't know. We'll see what happens the next time around. I don't know if we'll be able to keep it a secret again.
That's
but
cool. Or hidden tracks.
Yeah, I can't remember the total number of songs. It was like 19 songs, I think, that were final recorded versions, and we did have to keep some off for B-sides. I'm not exactly sure of the strategy of when they'll be released or where, but we do have a couple in our back pocket, so to speak. But as far as what goes on and what goes off, I think it's usually pretty obvious what songs are making the record. I think that for us, we don't ever have a throwaway song. If there's a song that isn't working, it's pretty obvious to us that it's not working. And usually there may be a part, like a riff or a beat or a melody for the throwaway song that still is good enough to make it to another song. So the good stuff always seems to get recycled. If the song for some reason isn't working, but the riff is cool, maybe we'll just put it on the back burner and save it for later, and maybe when we're in a different headspace, we'll take that riff and pull it out of that song and try it in a different way. So we feel the same way. We feel very strong. If it's not, I feel it's our strongest record to date, and I love that we were also able to have a broad selection of different styles within the Disturbed style on the record. You have some of the heaviest riffs we've ever had yet. Like Immortalized is a very heavy. It's a slower song, slower tempo song, but it's very heavy, very, very dark song. Then you have, on the other side of the spectrum, you have the song like The Light, which is, maybe people would consider that more commercial. Then you have
80s rock.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. And then there's Sound of Silence, the cover of Sound of Silence, which is just exploding right now. It's unbelievable what doors that song is opening for us. And there's so much more in between. I think that the break and becoming fathers. David had his first child during the break. I had my second child. Danny's been a father for many years now. I think that aspect helped us mature more. Cool. It also helped us tap into more of the emotion from within us. I don't think that made us soft. I think that allowed us to show a little bit more vulnerability with a song like Sound of Silence. And there's also a song on the record called Save Your Last Goodbye. And that's a song about a friend of ours, especially Dan. Dan was very close with him. His name was Bob Sanders, and he contracted cancer. He got cancer, and 9 months later he was gone. It was pancreatic cancer. And a good friend of Danny's, and he left behind 3 young kids, and it was devastating. But writing the song was healing for us. It helped us, helped us get through the hard times. And that's one of the things I think is really important with our band, is our fans say to us all the time that they've used our music to get through hard times.
Yeah.
And we do the same thing. That's part of the reason we write it. That's part of the reason we play it, is we use it to get through hard times. And the fact that our fans are able to make that connection and use it as well, I think that's why we have the relationship we do with our fans.
This is what I see, what the fans say. You don't play music, you feel music.
Absolutely.
It's your authentication.
It is. So it really is. It's not just something we do because it's a hobby. It's part of our soul.
Yeah.
Sure. Well, the song started out, we were in the studio, and we had most of the originals were close to being finished up at that point. And like we do every record, we were throwing around ideas for covers, and nothing was really seeming to connect with us, and we weren't really sold on any idea. And we just were sitting around one day throwing out ideas again, and I happened to suggest Simon and Garfunkel. For me, as a child, my father is a huge Simon and Garfunkel fan, and so it was a big part of my upbringing. When I was young, he always had it playing on in the background. I just remember always my childhood listening to Simon and Garfunkel. So I think partly because we were touching on so much more vulnerability and emotion from a headspace perspective on this record, that just made me think of my childhood. And I threw it out there, and I suggested Sound of Silence to the guys, and they thought that was a great song choice, but we were all very intimidated by the choice, because that's one of the most epic, one of the most legendary, well-written songs ever of any genre. And so immediately we thought, how do you approach a song like that? You do the song the wrong way, and you look foolish. So we talked about it, and Dan had the idea to approach it from an orchestral perspective. No guitars, no drums, the things that we're usually known for. Let's put that aside. We just wanted to experiment. Let's just try it and see how it goes. And worst comes to worst, if it doesn't work, we can always add guitars and drums later. But we started going down that road, and we knew what was going to sell the song was going to be David's vocal delivery. He didn't know at first that he was capable of pulling that off, but Danny and I knew. We have been brothers for so many years. We knew that this was something that he was going to be able to do, and so we encouraged him, and we just, again, it was a lot of experimentation, and once the song started to take shape, it just became this entity all in and of itself, something we had never done before, and we just fell in love with where it was going. Personally, though, I didn't think that the fans were going to receive it as well as they have. I just assumed that, it would be maybe a B-side, maybe a song at the end of the record that people thought was cool, but, we loved it. We loved it. When the song was finished and we would listen to it in the studio, I would tear up. I felt very connected, very emotional with the song. We all did. But people know us for usually, before the record came out, they know us for heavier music. And so, generally speaking, sometimes heavy music, fans of heavy music, if it's too soft, then it's not heavy enough for them, and so they don't want to hear it. But I think it's been a very pleasant surprise that not just heavy music fans, but so many other fans that maybe not know us have just embraced the song, and it's been just overwhelming. Well, I guess there's not a whole lot that I could say that we. I don't want to say that there's nothing that we necessarily miss. What I like to say that every experience we've ever had has shaped who we are as people and as musicians and as a band. And so whether it was good or bad, they are still experiences that have made us who we are today. So sure, I like to reminisce about old times, but I wouldn't change a thing. I think that we're really fortunate for the amazing fans that we've been able to earn, and they've stood by us all these years, and we're just really fortunate for the career we have, and we're just lucky. Life is great right now. I mean,
Yeah.
life is good. So we're a hardworking band, and our fans are hardworking people. They work hard for their money, and I think that that's part of the connection.
That's cool.
You know, we respect them, we love them, and I think that goes a long way. I think that's just the relationship that we have. We're not we don't have these insane egos. We love our fans. We love to just every time we come in the bus parks and we come into the venue, there's people standing outside. Yeah. We say hello, we shake hands, we sign autographs, we take pictures. We love that. We did a couple festivals here. We went out and we did signings. We're out there in the tent for an hour, and we like to shake hands. We like to interact with the fans. We enjoy it. It's part of what we do. And if it wasn't for the fans, we wouldn't be where we are. So,
how was Rock in Park?
Amazing. Rock and Ring and Rock and Park were insane. The European fans, especially here, the German fans, there's a lot that the U.S. fans could learn from them. The passion that they have for the music is amazing, and we really enjoy coming over here every single time. Yeah. I think it's pretty amazing that we've been able to have span multiple generations. There's fans. The first fans that we were able to get when we first had the first record in 2000 were our age, and they've grown with us. But we see people our age bringing their kids to our shows, and we see little kids in the front row over there, and it's amazing to see both parents and kids enjoying the music, and it's just I don't know, the power of music. It brings us all together.